A woman, a bearer of the vehicle, was shot. The only means of transport in the face of this deep-rooted forest are strikes, and women can only use mobile phones to give light. It is clear that there is a deliberate attempt by some to look at what is not known, and that, as a result of the fear of a trip, there is a central border crossing of the roadside. On the other hand, the woman in this case was Panised. He rushed to run the bus at the fastest rate, confirming that 4 were safe. He was forced to leave her husband. The Czech press was sent to save a short message, but it was not noted that, at a time when there was a window of space that was normal, it was running quickly. Others, the search for a videotape in the house of Jackie to the wife was a short-lived search, which led to the blocking of the house and the wife's departure. The past was found. However, when the Czech Republic reaches this point, in addition to seeing its own car, the wife has no trace. Conscious of the need to ensure that all human rights are protected, the situation is not easy, and the Czech attempt to fetch the wife's telephone calls is simply ignored. At a time when the Czech state is not aware of what is good, it is hidden. Not far from being able to give light to mobile phones, the Czech Republic has also mistakenly considered to be the wife's deliberate backing, so it is not thought that it would be possible to move directly to the past. Generally long, what is happening, suddenly, low-profile interviews. This was the body of his own wife. The couple also found the videotape in the house to be unknown. Yes, they searched for pitfalls, while the name of the tiny was photographed by the Czech girlfriend in the bathroom. This is not a matter of complacency. China burns and thinks about his progress in stealing with the girlfriends of his own. Behind here, seizure from the lower floor to search for Czech accounts, which can be found with the opening of his home, the thorium, when the giants run the building. No. He rushed to people and found his shoes on the ground. People in the sea suspension, then not to say, rushing out, confirming that the chef left. The garrison was ruthlessly drilled from a hair. Behind the floor. Taking a small knife, it is essential to move out of the motto, the situation is critical, and the sea is so desperate. The employer's pain on foot, the fast tracking of a class of articulated wires to the front, while the person in question is not too slow to follow the body, as is the case. To enjoy this sense of extermination. He is simplistic and frightened, and he can only make every effort to move forward quickly. However, in this case the aerosols in the bush, tensions, coupled with fear, have led to a loss of direction. There is no attention to the fact that trees are being turned over. Persons in the eye hygiene, with only speed of throws, pauses and lipses, as far as possible it has been loud, but it has been discovered. The situation is so critical that the occupants can only continue to run on their way forward. In the face of the human being, the panic is closely followed by a plunging panic, with little attention, one of the obstacles, one of which is hollow, and one of which is directly lost. Local giants it also means that this task has already been completed, in addition to seeing the sea surface of the wave, but not yet the voice of the sea. However, they do so for real purposes, in fact for video recording, and then trafficking for those who have money, but not for the moment they are given. It was also found that killings could only be extinguished. Shortly thereafter, the lease of the villa meant a new hunt is continuing. The film ended last year, and the story tells us that outside houses must be examined carefully, and that each is disturbed and, once found, not to be embarrassed. It is urgent to leave. Preemptive life. I am volcanically speaking of the film. I am concerned. Next.